The relief of not explaining yourself. What changes when your boundaries no longer need justification? There is a moment, often subtle, when something shifts in how you relate to yourself. Not dramatic, not announced, just a quiet change in how much you feel the need to explain. For a long time, I thought boundaries required justification. If I said no, I felt I had to soften it, add context, offer a reason that would be acceptable to the other person. I didn't want to disappoint. I didn't want to seem difficult. I didn't want to be misunderstood. So I explained. I'm just a bit tired at the moment. I've got quite a lot on. Maybe another time? Even when the truth was simple. I don't want to. What I didn't realize at the time was how much energy this took. Not just the speaking of the words, but the inner negotiation beforehand. The quiet calculation of how my response would be received. The attempt to manage someone else's reaction before it even happened. It meant that even when I honored my boundary, I didn't feel fully at ease with it. Part of me was still seeking approval. The shift didn't come from being harder. It came from becoming clearer. I started to notice that the people who were comfortable with themselves didn't over-explain. They were kind. They were present. But they were also direct. A no was a no. Not abrupt, not defensive, just complete. At first, this felt uncomfortable. There's a particular vulnerability in not explaining yourself. It leaves a space where the other person might interpret your choice in their own way. And we're not used to allowing that. We're used to shaping the narrative. But something changes when you stop doing that. Your no becomes lighter. Not because it matters less, but because it's no longer carrying weight. I remember the first time I simply said, "No, I can't come." No long explanation, no apology wrapped in soft language, just the truth. And then silence. Nothing terrible happened. The moment passed. The conversation moved on. And what stayed with me was not the other person's reaction, but the feeling in my own body. Steadier, less tangled, more at ease. There's a quiet relief in realizing that your boundaries do not need a story. They do not need to be justified, defended, or made more palatable. They could simply exist. Of course, this doesn't mean becoming blunt or dismissive. Kindness still matters. Tone still matters. But kindness does not require self-abandonment, and clarity does not require explanation. Sometimes a boundary is as simple as, "That doesn't work for me. I won't be able to do that. I need some time to myself." And then allowing that to be enough. What I've noticed is that the less I explain, the more I trust myself. There is less second-guessing, less replaying conversations in my head, less wondering if I said the right thing in the right way. Because I'm no longer trying to manage how my boundary is received. I'm simply honoring it. There is also a subtle shift in relationships. The people who are able to meet you in that clarity stay. The ones who need more explanation often reveal something, not about you, but about what they expect from others. And that, too, is useful information. Living in a quieter place has made this even more visible to me. There is less performance here, less need to explain your choices. People live as they live, and there's an unspoken understanding that not everything needs to be justified. It feels simpler, more honest. The relief of no longer explaining your boundaries is not loud. It doesn't come with a sense of triumph. It feels more like a soft settling. A sense that you no longer need to carry both your own needs and someone else's expectations at the same time. If you're still in the phase of explaining, softening, or over-justifying, that's okay. It's often how we learn to stay safe, connected, or accepted. But you might begin gently to experiment. One moment, one boundary, saying less, letting the sentence end sooner than it usually would, and noticing what happens. You may find that nothing breaks, that the world continues, that your relationships adjust, and that inside you, something becomes quieter. Your boundaries do not need to be argued into existence. They only need to be respected first by you. And sometimes that begins with saying less. Here's a gentle reflection. Where in your life are you adding explanation when a simple, honest sentence would be enough?